Here's the deal. Your mind is like a sponge when you're young, soaking up everything around you, good, bad, ugly, and just plain fucking wrong. And here's the kicker. Your subconscious, it doesn't care if what it's soaking up is true or not. It just takes it in and files it away like a damn archive. Everything you hear, everything you see, everything you experience, it all gets dumped in there as truth. And the worst part, some of that shit you were told is complete garbage, and you didn't even know it. You breathed it in, and now your brain is like, oh well, that's truth, and moves on with its life. Now if you want to actually get the truth, the real raw truth, you have to start doing the hard work. Because truth, it isn't something that you've been told. Truth is what survives the fire. How do you handle the garbage that you've inhaled? Let's break this down. Your brain takes in everything, like it's gospel. Let's talk about this garbage. You've been told things like, you're not good enough. Money doesn't grow on trees. People like you don't succeed. Did any of that sound familiar? I thought so. Now what if I told you? Those things, they're just stories. Someone told you that shit when you were too young to understand it. And now it's stuck in your head, influencing your decisions. But guess what? Your mind is like a damn computer. It doesn't know what's true. It just files things in the truth folder without checking. You've been carrying around some of this bullshit for years, and you haven't even questioned it. So, the first thing you need to do is to recognize all those old beliefs. They're not truth. They're just lies that you've been repeating to yourself. For example, let's say you've been told money is hard to come by, and your family has struggled financially. You're living with that belief right now, right? Money doesn't grow on trees. Well, guess what? That's garbage. And yet your subconscious, it filed it as truth. Now here's the secret. What survives the fire? The stuff that actually holds up. It's the belief you can create wealth. The truth is that money flows, and it's available to anyone who knows how to create value. But if you stay stuck in that limiting belief, you're not going to see it. You're going to keep struggling because you're locked into an outdated program. Chunk up and chunk down. Let's do this. Let's break things down so you can see the bigger picture. Chunk up, you've got a belief. Money doesn't grow on trees. Let's zoom in and ask, why do you believe that? Where did that belief come from? Oh, it came from your parents. They were struggling with money. Well, guess what? They were stuck in the same damn program. And that doesn't mean it's true. It just means it's what they believed. And they passed it down to you. That's a pattern, and patterns can be broken. Chunk down. Let's zoom back in and get real specific. When was the last time you made a choice based on that belief? Maybe you hesitated to take a financial risk. Or maybe you chose a job you didn't really love because it seems safe, right? That's the garbage belief in action, showing up in your life. But guess what? That's just one moment. And it doesn't need to define your entire existence. Now we're going to throw that garbage into the fire, reframing the garbage. Here is where we get into reframing. The stuff that survives the fire. It's the new belief that comes after you burn away all the garbage. So let's say your brain still insists that money is hard to come by. Okay, fine. We're going to burn that shit and give you something new. The new belief, money is abundant. Opportunities for wealth, they're everywhere. And you can create your own. Think about this. People have been living in poverty for generations. Yet there are people who rise from it. So what's the difference? They started thinking differently. They looked at the same world the same economy, and they found opportunity where others only saw scarcity. You can do that too. Start reframing. When you catch yourself thinking that money is hard to make, stop and ask, how can I see this situation differently? What can I learn here? Let's talk now about pacing and leading. This is a powerful NLP technique. To lead someone somewhere, you first need to pace them. Meet them where they are, and then gradually lead them towards your desired outcome. So when someone believes that money doesn't grow on trees, you pace them. I get it, you've been told that your whole life. You've seen your parents struggle, but here's the deal. Lead them towards a new idea. But money doesn't come from trees, it comes from creativity. It comes from opportunities that are all around us. And you can learn how to find them. Now notice how that feels. You've just started shifting their mindset. You're not just throwing a new belief at them. You've met them where they are and led them towards something better. The science behind the change. This is all about neuroplasticity. It's the idea that your brain can rewire itself. Your neurons, the little cells in your brain, they're constantly creating new connections. When you introduce new beliefs, like money is abundant, your brain starts making connections that reinforce that idea. The more you repeat it, the stronger those connections get. And you know what? Your brain, it doesn't even know the difference between truth and what's repeated. So when you start believing new things, your brain literally starts building a new version of reality. You don't just think it, you feel it, you act on it. But let's be real here, your brain's resistance is normal. You'll have doubts. You'll feel fear. That's the bullshit your subconscious is still holding on to. And it's the same fear that keeps you stuck. You think you're afraid of failure, but really, you're afraid of leaving behind the identity that's been comfortable. That's the comfort zone. And breaking out of it is scary as hell. But that's the price of freedom. The karma of not doing the work. Here's the thing. If you don't burn away the garbage, what happens? You stay stuck. You stay small. You keep replaying the same story. And it keeps you in lack, fear and mediocrity. And the karma of staying stuck is brutal. You miss out on living your full potential. You keep hurting yourself and everyone around you by not showing up as your best self. But here's the flip side. When you burn that shit down, you unlock your true potential. You start showing up in the world as someone who's ready to create, ready to grow, and ready to live. And what happens when you show up like that? The universe responds, opportunities start coming your way. People start noticing, doors open, and the best part, it's easy. So why are you afraid? Let's talk about the real reason you're afraid to do this work. You're afraid of what people will think. But here's the truth. Most people, they're so busy thinking about themselves, they won't even notice. And those who do notice, well, if they're talking shit, it's because they're still stuck in their own garbage. But let's be honest. You're never going to satisfy everyone. So why not just satisfy yourself? Interrupt the limiting patterns. We're all stuck in patterns that drain us. We get trapped by our old beliefs and behaviours, and it keeps us small. But interrupting those patterns is how you break free. Every time you catch yourself in an old belief, just stop. Ask yourself, is this still true? Is this helping me? Is this who I want to be? If not, burn the shit down. Every time you challenge the old belief, you break free a little bit more. And here's the final piece. When you can pace and lead others through this process, you become a master at change. You understand how to move people to their own mental blocks, guiding them from a place of scarcity to a place of abundance. You help them wake up, and when you do that, You're not just changing their mind, you're changing their life. This is how you create real lasting change. By leading with truth. By burning the garbage. And by teaching others how to do the same. Now go out and make it happen.